So I am at Bob Weaver Motorsports on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and I'm at a Ducati test drive. Today I'm riding three bikes, the Monster 821, the 1200R, which is up there, and the Scrambler. First things first, Monster 821. Let's see how it feels. No gear indicator. How do I adjust the riding mode? There we go. Let's do touring first to get into the groove, and then we'll switch. Oh, those brakes are very bitey. My God, there's so many of us. Well, immediately, it doesn't really feel all that much different from the FC07, but it's a little more vibey than I would have thought. So that seems kind of like a poor design that the traction control selector is also the turn signal canceller. But maybe that's just me, and I can't find neutral for the life of me. Holy shit, whoa. Okay, sport mode definitely way more aggressive as you'd expect. But let's talk ergonomics. Compared to the FC07, I would say the riding position is pretty much identical. Not really, maybe the foot pegs are back a little bit more, but that mirrors. Shit. It's nice power. No gear indicator though, which isn't a huge deal. Just a minor inconvenience. It's a false neutral. It's mirror though. Yeah, I don't think that mirror is staying where it's gonna be put. It's okay. I use the right mirror more than the left one anyway. Oh, those brakes are bitey. Holy shit. Now, I don't know if this is me going from a parallel twin to this 90-degree V-twin, but it just feels like when I roll on the throttle, the bike is going a lot more than on the parallel twin. And I know that parallel twin should be smoother, right? But it's the same firing order as this one on the FC07. So, I don't know. I guess that's just kind of surprising me, is that it just feels like that. I don't know. Another nitpick I have is that exhaust guard down there. Well, the exhaust in general, actually. Now it wraps around the side of the cylinder head, and it's kind of right where your leg wants to be when you come to a stop and put your leg down. It's kind of right where your knee, the side of your knee is. And I mean, to me it looks really good when you're off the bike, but function-wise, I mean, my leg keeps touching it, and I can feel the warmth, and it's just kind of disconcerting, if you will. I mean, right now I'm cruising in 6th gear, 55 miles an hour at 4,000 RPM. So that is, I almost want to say on par. Oh shit. Oh, there goes his visor. But I mean, for having pretty much 130 cc's more than the FC07, what the hell am I hitting my feet on there? Oh, the passenger pegs. For those of you who have an FC07, I bet for a lot of you it's comfortable to put the balls of your feet on the foot pegs and rest your feet there, but when you do it on here, your heels rest on the passenger foot pegs support, that goes down from the side of the bike, and it kind of threw me off guard. But I mean, for having 130 something cc's more, I can feel it in the acceleration. Definitely I can feel it in the acceleration. But I mean, going highway speeds, I don't really notice the difference. It still feels like you're kind of revving it a little bit high to get to where you're trying to go, but that exhaust note is nice, I will say that. Yeah, you definitely feel it in the acceleration. Definitely feel that extra 130 cc's. No, you know what, there is. Because at 65 on the 07, I'd be in like 5,000 RPM. So no, there is. See, look at that, another false neutral. I was just in 6th and now went down to 5th, and that's the second one. Ducati, I'm not expecting this from you. You pay 10 grand for a motorcycle. I don't want false neutrals. Let's see what else does. So we have our total mileage, trip A, trip B, trip time. So how long we've been out, I'm assuming that's what that means. And then you have your clock. Woohoo, those brakes though. Still have yet to find neutral. There we go. That was me pinning the throttle. I literally couldn't move my hand back anymore. And I think that was 3rd gear. So that should give you an idea what the acceleration's like. The seat is actually surprisingly comfortable for the little bit of time I've been on it. This, I mean, with a naked bike, it's what you'd expect. Wind everywhere. Your chest is a sail, and it just catches all the wind. But it's not bad. We're cruising along at almost 60 miles an hour. It's not bad. Then again, I'm used to this, so maybe it's terrible and I'm just used to it. I don't know. But I'm not really going to mess with the ABS and traction control too much because I can't test those on this event anyway. So I'm going to just leave those how they are. They're set to 1 and 2, ABS 1, traction control 2. And I'm just going to leave them how they are. It turns quite nicely, actually. Okay, now this is the fun part of the ride. It's these turns. Oh, jeez, it almost looks like he went off the road. He was going there. Yeah, 65 around 4,400 RPM, that's better than the FZ07. So yeah, it's highway speed, it's a little more highway worthy, as you'd expect, and I was surprised when I thought that it wasn't really that much difference, but it is. I don't know how this is supposed to work. I'll just leave it like that, I guess. Now, there's a lot of stigma that comes with owning a Ducati. I don't even know if that's the right word, but I'm going to go with it. I mean, yes, you have a very expensive Italian motorcycle. Fucking false neutral. That's the 3rd one. Man, that's the expensive Italian motorcycle that gives you 3 false neutrals. I mean, it's not like I put it into neutral going from 1st to 2nd gear. That's like 3rd into 4th. Anyway, you got this expensive Italian motorcycle, and a lot of people, it's like a lifestyle. But, I mean, motorcycle's a motorcycle, right? It doesn't make you any better or any worse than anybody else out there. Are they good looking? Yes, absolutely. They're some of the most beautiful motorcycles around. That and MV Agusta, in my personal opinion, are 2 of the best looking motorcycle manufacturers out there. But I mean, it's a status thing. Those brakes, they could get you into trouble if you're not careful. It's really a status thing. It's like, oh, I own a Ducati. Well, it's like, well, I own a Yamaha. And I mean, I love all motorcycles, don't get me wrong, but I don't like when people get snooty when they have a high-end Italian motorcycle. because these things are expensive off the floor, expensive to maintain, and I mean, they're not, just statistically, they're not as reliable as a lot of the Japanese manufacturers. That doesn't mean they're bad bikes, but I mean, most of the people give attitude, not even most, some of the people, and this is another one of those things where one person or a few people do it and they kind of ruin it for the rest of us. So if like there are those types of bikers on the freeway that do wheelies and all that stuff and they ruin everybody else's reputation who doesn't do that, I guess the same kind of thing's going on for Ducati. There's a few snooty people out there who give a bad taste in the mouths of everybody else and just kind of ruins it. But if you have a Ducati, good on you. That's awesome, because I probably wouldn't mind having one either. But some people just prefer some practicality over all the flair. That's not to say Ducati doesn't have practical motorcycles like the one right in front of me here. I think that's the Multistrada. Pretty sure it's Multistrada. That's very practical if you're touring. I digress. Sorry for that little tangent. Did not mean to offend any Ducati owners out there. Okay, yeah, you can tell the power difference. There is an extreme power difference. The wheel was starting to pick up a little bit both those times, and I was able to keep it down so that way they wouldn't kick me out of the test drive event. I always think the middleweights are the most fun, and this is in the upper end of middleweight. This is starting to get into FZ09 territory, but it's not quite there. FZ09 is a little bit beefier, got a little bit more crazy of an engine. I intentionally didn't choose an FZ09 because when I test rode them both, and the FZ09, I was like constantly checking my speed to make sure I wasn't speeding. But like on this bike and on the FZ07, like I don't have to look at the speedometer a whole lot, because yeah, it can break the speed limit, but generally if you're in the right gear, you'll be going a little bit higher than comfortable in the rev range, and you'll know about it. FZ09, not quite like that, and that's something I didn't really like about it, but that's just me. Other people probably do like that about it. Definitely has an exhaust note like pretty much no other bike I've heard. And now I can tell this is this ride-by-wire stuff because my wrist doesn't feel totally in control, especially when I'm in maybe one gear higher than would be comfortable, but I can still maneuver and do what I need to do. It feels like when I go to turn my wrist to accelerate, if I'm in one gear higher, the bike doesn't respond at all until I get down a little bit, and then I'm starting to accelerate a little quicker than I'd like. So I can tell my wrist isn't totally in control. Can't say I'm too big of a fan of that. I'm more of a basic, just give me fuel injection, leave everything else how it normally is. My hand's falling asleep. Suspension's way better than the FZ07, obviously. I mean, this is a premium Italian motorcycle, so I would think the suspension should be good. Then again, not a whole lot is worse than the FZ07s. Would I want to own one? As my only bike? Probably not. As my second bike? Probably so. I'm sure a lot of people would disagree with me. I don't really feel this being a day-to-day type of bike. It's a little too vibey, a little not enough wrist control in certain areas, and I don't know, I just would prefer something a lot more basic for an everyday bike, like the new 2017 Suzuki SV650, 650, or Yamaha FZ07. Basic is good, And this, you're starting to throw in all this ABS and traction control and ride-by-wire and different road driving modes, and sure, that's good for some people, but for me personally, give me a throttle cable, give me fuel injection. That's all I need. And both those bikes I listed before, the SV650 and the FZ07, both do that. And the bikes are a lot of fun. And this one, the steering, it almost feels a little heavy relative to the FZ07. It feels slightly heavy. When I'm going around a corner, on the FZ07 I can just lean, and that's where the bike goes. I mean, I just like go, okay, whoop, we're going that way. But on this one, when I'm in the process of going around a corner, I like have to do micro adjustments, and that could be just because I'm not used to riding this. But relative to the FZ07, it's like this is a little bit more heavy on the steering. Do I like it overall, though? I do. I think this will be a really fun weekend canyon carving bike that you could take to bike shows and get a lot of people looking at it, because it's a really good looking bike too. And now my butt is falling asleep as well. Can I get it to neutral? I don't know why neutral is so hard to find on this bike. I don't know why. There we go. I don't know what's going on with this mirror. Whatever. So all in all, good bike, yeah. Perfect bike, no. Bike that you can get on, go 500 miles, no. Bike that you can take somewhere and just have a good time for a couple hours, come back, even go to the track if you really wanted to. I think you could. And ride it home, yeah, I do. It's a lot of fun. I mean, all in all, I like it. It feels good. Very comfortable. Not the easiest to do the clutchless downshifting. See, now neutral right away that time. What the hell is the difference? What did I do differently that time? Ultimately, though, you're gonna have to go test drive one for yourself if you're thinking of getting it. Would I trade my FZ07 for this? No, not at all. I would rather the FZ07 every day of the week. And this is one of the bikes I was looking at getting before I bought my FZ07. I was strongly considering this one, but the price was right at, yeah, and that's the other thing, the price. The FZ07's like $3 to $4 grand cheaper than this one. And what do you get with that? ABS, traction control, riding modes. I would rather save the $3 grand, in my opinion. But try one out for yourself. Neutral. It's neutral again. What the hell? There you go. Hopefully you enjoyed. Maybe I helped you with something. Thanks for watching.